Hi, and welcome to Vinyl Podcast. We are your hosts, Taylor Sokol,
Giselle Loving,
Emily Massett,
Caitlin Gerber,
Amanda Dayton,
and Caleb Bauer.
To start off, music can connect us to our past even in ways photos or stories cannot. It's common to take a picture at some event in order to make it last longer, but how often do you really look at those pictures? Songs are heard on a day-to-day basis, whether on the radio, an advertisement, or even a song that was stuck in your head yesterday. Music is all around and is used as a memory enhancer more often than you think. Studies such as the one published in Memory by Janata reveal that memory has the ability to act as an auditory time capsule, bringing back personal memories tied to significant life events. These songs are not just background noise, they're powerful triggers helping to restore emotions and moments after they are long gone. Have you ever listened to a song that triggers a memory or reminds you of your childhood?
Every time I hear a Rihanna song, it reminds me of me and my mom cleaning on Saturday mornings.
I've had a similar experience where certain songs remind me of a location or time of my life. What time of your life does this bring you back to?
I'd have to say early elementary school, back when I was more excited about cleaning.
That makes sense because based off a study from Jakubowski in 2021, the reminiscence bump is associated with more music-related memories than any other part of your life.
Wow, that's interesting. What is the reminiscence bump?
The reminiscence bump is from 10 to 30 years old with a high memory recollection, usually associated with a distinct emotion.
So that might be the reason I always feel so nostalgic every time I listen to Rihanna. Her songs always remind me of me and my mom dancing together. It always gives me that unforgettable feeling of childhood.
Aw, it's so crazy how music can bring back those moments. Speaking of memory, some songs and sounds get stuck in my head so easily.
I agree. Music can be really catchy, but what exactly makes a sound catchy?
Well, according to a study done in 2023 by the National Library of Medicine, music triggers the release of hormones such as endorphins and oxytocin, which promotes social bonding and alleviates pain.
Oh, that makes sense. That's why jingles I hear on the TV and radio get stuck in my head so easily.
Yeah. The one that used to get stuck in my head all the time when I was a kid was the Summit Place Kia one.
Oh, yeah.
You should be driving a Kia.
The Summit Place Kia. Summit Place Kia. I remember that one.
Yeah, the other one that I used to really like was the Goldfish commercial one. The snack that smiles back, Goldfish.
Those are really memorable, but what makes them so memorable? They're only a couple of seconds.
Well, when it adds on the radio or on a TV show, typically you hear it a lot, and the repetition trains your brain to remember it. It's kind of like the alphabet song. The melody and the rhymes too really get it stuck in your head, and the melodies are typically pretty easy to remember.
Yeah, they are.
They're like nursery rhymes.
So catchiness isn't just random. It's the repetition, rhythm, and rhyme that make them all work together to be so memorable.
Yeah, we're never gonna forget these.
Never.
Have you ever noticed how a musician can remember hours of music, chord changes, and timing all without missing a beat? It turns out that their brains might be wired a little differently than others. A 2017 meta-analysis by Francesca Tellamini et al. Looked at nearly 30 studies to discover if musicians actually have better memory than non-musicians. They looked at 3 types of memory: long-term memory, stuff you hold on to over time; short-term memory, what you keep in your head for just a few seconds; and working memory, which is essentially mental multitasking. Musicians outperform non-musicians across the board on these tests, most significantly in short-term and working memory. Now here's where it gets a little more interesting. Musicians were strongest when dealing with tonal or verbal memory tests, things like melodies, notes, or words. When the memory task was visual, the difference between musicians and non-musicians was very minimal. So what does this mean? Well, practicing music may be able to literally tune your brain, especially the parts for processing sound and language. So, what's actually happening inside of the brain to make this possible? A study by Marcus Herdiner et al. Used brain scans and a variety of rhythmic patterns to compare college musicians' hippocampuses, an area of the brain known as the memory hub, from the beginning of the year when students had little musical experience to the end of the year where they had undergone lots of training. It was found that the students' hippocampal activity increased in response to music over the course of the year, demonstrating the concept of functional plasticity in the hippocampus. After extended periods of musical training, the hippocampus is able to change how it functions. In this case, music sharpened the brain's ability to spot unexpected changes in the rhythmic patterns and strengthened the memory system behind it.
Now we know why we have vivid imagery in our minds when we hear familiar songs.
We've connected childhood emotions to specific sounds and remember nostalgic jingles.
On top of that, musicians are proven to have better memory because of their ability to interpret the emotional and rhythmic patterns.
Thank you guys for tuning in. We hope you understand your own connection with music.
Bye.